On today's Moving the Chains, another ring season recap. This time, the 1A state champ, Bamberg-Ehrhardt Red Raider head coach Corey Crosby.
Yeah, it was great catching up with Coach Crosby, so he could just detail, how they were able to just be so dominant in this perfect season that was highlighted with that state championship game down in Orangeburg this year. Just so much fun to talk to him. It's our first time catching up with him on MTC, and just look forward to, what they're going to do in the future, and was happy to, kind of put a bow on this fantastic season that they were able to put together.
A proud program, hadn't had a state title since 1990, man. Really fun to hear some stories from him. But hope you guys enjoy it today. A ring season recap with Corey Crosby, the Bamberg-Ehrhardt Red Raider head coach.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.
Welcome into Moving the Chains, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. I'm Kevin Thomas alongside Drell Hendricks. We've got a great interview today for a ring season recap. A very special guest, the head coach of the 2025 1A state champion Bamberg-Ehrhardt Red Raiders, Corey Crosby. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, guys, man. How y'all doing?
Doing well, and appreciate your time.
Awesome.
We really do. If this is you guys' first time tuning in, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, YouTube, and more at Moving Chains. Our website, movingchains.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. This was Coach Crosby's fourth season as the head coach of the Red Raiders, and they went 15-0 on their way to the 1A state title. Coach, for folks who maybe didn't get a chance to see this team play this year, you guys obviously had an awesome season. How would you describe, I guess, kind of the style that you guys play with on both sides of the football?
Man, this team was electric, man. It was special. It's a lot of great athletes on that last year team. But man, we called a couple of years ago, we was always power football, man. Everybody knew we was gonna run that football and we was gonna get 3 yards in a cloud of dust, man. But we came in and kind of knew we were trying to get that, that championship that we kept chasing. Then we had to get the ball out in space, man, to our athletes. And we have some great athletes, man, outstanding quarterback for the last couple of years. But we love to throw that ball. We like to take shot plays down the field on offense, man. We RPO style. We're still gonna run the football. That's what we do. But we get a chance to take shot plays and get the ball out of space. That's what we're gonna do offensively. But defensively, man, we big on stopping the run. That's something that I hung my hat on as a defensive coordinator for years. And the guy that's with me right now, Travis Wilson, that's what we big on. He's our D-line coach and our defensive coordinator right now. But we're gonna stop the run. We're gonna control the pass, and we did a great job with that, man. I think we only gave up like 7-8 yards rushing, and that's crazy. We play some great teams too that run that football, but that's what we're gonna do. And we got a great kicker, man. People don't realize in 1A, man, we got a kid that can kick that ball out the end zone, and he kick field goals for us, man. But we got a special team, man. A lot of them jokers back too, so that's a good thing, man. We got 18 starters back, so I'm sitting back just hoping we can make another run at this thing, man.
Coach Crosby, when we started digging in the numbers, during the season, we started doing preview shows, especially going to the playoffs. One word just kept coming to mind. That was dominant. Your team averaged 51 points per game on offense. Like you said, 8 per game on defense, allowing no rushing yards, essentially. But who were some of those, you just mentioned 18 starters coming back. Who were some of the guys that led that team to that state title run?
Man, Jalen McGraw, plays outside linebacker, running back for us. He's at Gardner Well right now. He left in January. He was our leader, man. Marcus Can, that was special for years here. Played on a team that lost in the Lower State Championship to Johnsonville a couple years ago. We had a kid that transferred in. He was from here. He transferred back. Went to Florida. Christopher Washington played safety. He fit in big for us. That kind of changed our defense because, that joker was coming downhill, knocking people out. So he was Jalen Moody that plays DN for us and offensive line, and but our leader that really rocked that group was Darius Walker. A lot of people didn't realize it, the outside linebacker. This kid started for 4 years for us, and he led that group on defense, man, putting us in the right spot, making sure everybody's doing their job, and I always tell our kids, we talk about it right now. Bad teams nobody lead. Good teams are led by coaches, But when you had that elite team, that outstanding team that we had last year, that was led by players in the locker room. And coaches had to follow that lead. And that's what we done, man. But them jokers, that senior class, man, they set the tone high for these kids. So, but we had some great kids, man. Great seniors, man.
Coach, you guys have had a coaching staff that's been together for quite a while now as well at Bamberg-Ehrhardt. Who are some of those guys that are really a key part of what you guys do there?
Man, starting on the offensive side, we came in. I almost lost this guy to some some schools that was looking at him. And Greg Fannin was our offensive coordinator, did a great job with our offense of coming in and changing our mentality and stuff that we wanted to do. Then I went and got a young boy that played at Coastal Carolina, Chris Presley, that helps with our coordinate with our offense too. He helps with our quarterbacks. And then another guy that played football here, went off to school, Marcus Can with our O-line. And then I went and got a guy who was in the skeezer ball for a long time, Curtis Art. Curtis Art was at Dorchester Academy. And all them guys that won championships, so he kind of knew what the little missing pieces that we was missing. So he's like my senior analyst. And then I went and got Charles Kelly that was at OW, that OW back in the days was throwing that football. So I went and got him at receiver that worked with our receivers and all that stuff. So I went and got him, and then I had a guy that came with me when I was in Blackville. Terrell Haynes is our running back coach. So he was with me. And the defensive side of the ball, man, them jokers been with me for all my life. Travis Wilson been with me for 18 years, my D-line coach, and my defensive coordinator. And then he played at South Carolina State. And then Willie Carter played for Washington Redskins. He coached our DBs. He was at Hampton with me at Blackville. He played at Howard, was All-American at Howard. So our kids kind of know. And then Jamie Downing played college ball with me. Me and him was on the same high school team, and me and him went to college together. So he coached my outside linebackers. And, them guys, so that's our staff connected real close. So our kids understand the brand of football and understand the standard that we want to have, because all them guys been with me for years. So that vision is always that, what my vision, coach, they'll come tell me, Coach, what your vision is this team going to be, and they're going to follow that lead. And now it's not my vision, it's our vision, what's the vision going to be this year. So, but them guys, man, my staff is great. I think I have one of the best 1A staffs in the state. That's me personally, because they know what we want to do. They know how we want to attack this thing. So.
Coach, we get a lot of DMs as our program has gotten bigger. We get DMs from fans, coaches, players, and we got a special one in the preseason this year that said, watch out for the Raiders. And that came from you. So you knew that this group was pretty special. Yeah. Expectations are always extremely high there at Bamberg-Ehrhardt. But when did you realize that this team was capable not only of a state title run, but essentially perfection?
Man, we went – I kind of had that feeling this summer. We did a 7-on-7 in North Augusta, and we went undefeated. They went 8-0 in the tournament, beat North Augusta in the 7-on-7. And I told them guys we left, we were just sitting down eating. And I said, man, I told our staff, these kids gonna be special. This group might be special, because I saw kids cramp up against 4A schools and 5A schools, and I saw some of my younger guys step in, and my older kids was coaching them jokers. So, and I knew right then, I said we had a chance to be special. If our O-line could get better, and they did as the year went along. But we went and played Buford in the scrimmage. We always play big schools in the scrimmage. And I saw our kids go toe-to-toe with Buford. And then I saw Barnwell Wheat, how we went in. We struggled a little bit, but we found a way to win. And you could hear it in the locker room. You could start hearing that practice. And I preached this, practice like you want to be a D1 player, practice like pros. And they started doing that. They started picking up on that. And then when the numbers started getting, they was putting up big numbers, everybody wanted to be great. Everybody wanted to be special. So, that's what I felt like that as the year was going. But that North Augusta week, man, because we lost to Irmo. We only lost 2 games in the summer, was to Irmo and to Oceanside. And them jokers played for a state championship. Oceanside won it. So if you talk about going in the summer with some top teams and you only lose to them 2, you feel like you got a chance, man, if your O-line, D-line can hold up.
Coach, you guys, you really rolled through the regular season, didn't have what I would say really a close game until lower state against Cross there.
Mm-hmm.
As a coaching staff, how did you guys kind of attack that? How did you keep your guys locked in? Because you had to know at some point a close game was going to come.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of, I guess, keep them focused up and ready when it got tight in one of those ball games?
Man, you come watch us practice, man, you'll say, hey, man, coach do it. They tough on them kids. I'm a Kirby Smart, Nick Saban guy. I study them. I read everything they put out. And I practice like that. But my practice is tough. It's tough on me. Monday and Tuesday, I tell people, man, that's a tough practice for me, for us. So we challenge our kids a lot mentally, mindset, So we kind of put out our guys in adverse situations in practice to see how they're going to respond. So if you go back and look at the Cross game, we had to convert 3/4 downs, and them kids never panic because we put our kids in situations like that. A lot of teams don't do that in 1A, so we feel like we got a little advantage on that. And our numbers is a little different than a lot of people. But that's how we do, man. We challenge our kids in practice, man. If you can make it out of our practice and you can make it through the year, you got a chance, man. And I just said it the other day. I got a little bit from Georgia, but we got a saying right here in Bamberg, man. We eat off the floor. So if you're willing to eat off the floor, you can be successful. That means you got to put everything in. We don't care about the bells and whistles. We just want to work hard. And our kids believe in that, man. So we just feel like at the end of the day, we're gonna find a way to win. And that's what we preach every day in the weight room right now, and that's what we preach in practice.
Coach, let's take a look at that state championship game, a 35-21 victory over Lamar. A very deserving championship contender there as well. But we'll get into more things as we progress in this interview. But looking at the offense specifically, had 420 yards of total offense. Maybe not the point total that you were used to putting up this year, but still a very, very impressive performance on offense. What did you guys see leading up to that game to know that you would be able to continue to perform well and had a chance, in the state championship game?
It's always, we tell our coaches, I tell my coaches, let's get our best players the ball, We felt like we had a matchup against them. We felt like, it was going to be hard for them to match up and try to pack the box. They're a 5-man front team too. And we felt like we get them out in space, our running backs get out in the backfield and support them. So we start seeing them chase a little bit with the running back. So that opened up some seam things down the middle of the field. And I feel like me personally, that I had the best skill guys in the state, with Charles Anthony Williams and Jason Humans and Rakeem Walker and all them guys and Marcus Kane. It is hard for everybody in 1A to match up. So we felt like we had a matchup. We knew they was going to run the football defensively. So we felt like we could get up a score or two on them. It changed how they have to play offense. And that's what we base on. Man, we tell people, if we could get up 2 scores, that means people have to change. If they can't sit there and run the football, if they're not used to throwing, they're not used to doing certain things, now they're going to panic, and now the game's going to get out of hand a little bit. So we kind of tell them, man, we want to play basketball on grass, man. We want to take runs. We like Duke. I watch Duke in North Carolina, and I'm big on, let's get a run. They going to mess around. You down by 2, you look up, you down by 20. So that's kind of how we tell, that's kind of how attack that, our offense and our defensive coordinator know, like, we get a stop, man, our offense finna take a shot, and you're talking about defensive coordinator, you're getting up 2 touchdowns and people got to change what they do offensively. Man, you probably one of the best ones in the state. So, yeah. That's what we believe in.
Let's talk about that defense, Coach. You gave up that early touchdown, the first drive there. They kind of came out and, punched you guys in the mouth. But you guys obviously answered right back and really held them in check after that. Yeah. What did you tell your guys on the sideline after that first drive to kind of settle them down? And, what did y'all do so well after that first part of the football game?
Man, we didn't panic. We've been in that situation. I said that earlier this year, to y'all. Barnwood hit us in our mouth first like that. So we down 7-0. Woolen did the same thing. Now kids now panic. You watch on the sideline. We just came off the field, got on that iPad, got on that huddle iPad, man, made some adjustments, kind of moved some people around, shade a little bit to their strong side. And then we knew they was trying to attack, make our DBs fit in the run game. So we so big and our DBs trying to get in that run game. And so we had to tell our, Jason, hey, listen, they turning that guy out. Now you got to fit in that C gap. And once Jason started realizing what they was doing, we kind of felt like we shut them down. But, man, we don't panic, man. I think kids want to see what you're going to do. You panic, now they're going to panic. So we kind of – that's something that we talked about as a staff, too. We came in 2 years ago. I think we lost to Johnsonville. And we, Chancellor last year, we lost to Lakeview. we panic a little bit. So that was something as a staff that we came in that all season. I wanted to put my staff in situations that when we get in that, we don't panic. So I started challenging them on some stuff in the off season, and they stepped up, and you notice we didn't panic. But that started with the head, man. You're good as your head guy. So if I would have panicked, I think the staff would have panicked, kids started to panic. But I came in, I kind of uplift a lot of people, trying to tell me, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. And them kids went out there, man, and you saw them, and they responded. And once we got that chance to get that thing rolling, they rolling. But our kids still upset about not getting that touchdown in on that 4th and 1, and we down on the 4-yard line. That's something now I went in the weight room. We talk about it every day at our O-line. Man, we just got knocked off the ball. We flat got knocked off the ball. So that's our off-season mentality right now. Can't get pushed around, can't get bullied.
Extremely hard to believe when we're doing the research, but this is the first title for that Red Raiders program since 1990. How special and great, awesome, all those words was it to bring it back to a community that supports you and that team so well? I
told them, man, this wasn't really about me, man. I told somebody, everybody kind of pushed away from it. And I said, it's God's team. Because I said it, why? Because we had a lot of great teams come through Bamberg, man. A lot of great coaches. My brother was the head coach here. He played for 3 state championships, and he lost. Lost to Abbeville, lost to Christchurch. Matter of fact, he lost to Abbeville twice. And then and Robert Williams came in and took us and lost to Southside Christian. But we had great teams, man, with Ricky Sapp, Daquan Bowers. So we knew that, listen, man, I can't do this, guys. I told the kids coming in, man, we had great teams and we didn't win it. So we got to trust in some other stuff now. And they did. They brought into that. I started bringing them different people in, speaking to them. My mom was a preacher. She started, pouring into these young guys. A lot of people in the community started pouring into them, and they started believing in that, and they started seeing things work. But, but for this town, man, that was special. This town been feeding for this for years, man. You talking about, going there, not winning, man, disappointed, coming back from Columbia. We only have one grocery store here, man. You see guys in their 80s and their 70s and grandmas and granddaddies and they take pride in that Red Raider, man. That diamond, and to see them just the smile on their face when we walk in the grocery store, and so this really wasn't for me. I tell people, now I think the one we trying to chase next year, I feel like that's one I want. But right here, this was for the town. This was for the community. All the guys that played here back in the days, man, that was for Ricky Sapp, Daquan, Casey Crosby, all them guys, Marcus Can, that was for them guys, man. They say, we appreciate it, the hard work that y'all set the standard for this program, and we just pouring it back to y'all. So that's what it's about right there.
Yeah, Coach, you say obviously this wasn't about you, and with you being a Bamberg-Ehrhardt alum, though, does that add a little bit of sweetness to it for you, man, and just make it feel a little bit better, being from where you're from and where you went to school?
It do. But man, so many, man. We had great coaches come through, man. Leon Maxwell, Kevin Crosby, my brother, and Robert Williams, and them guys, man. I could go to them guys right now and knock on their door, and we sit down and talk football. So, being here, from being at the school, yeah, it's big because, that school pride, that diamond pride, man, that 51st state, that stuff like that. But, man, I'm just humbled to be one of them guys to bring it home. But, man, it's them coaches that set that standard, man, that got me where I'm at. Because I was under them guys' staff, man. So I saw the steps they had to take, the hard work, even, seeing them, people saying, hey, you can't get it done. Guys, what we doing? We got to change it up. And but they talk to me every day, man. Robert talked to me every day. He's my AD. I talk to my brother. He's at a principal at elementary school. We chop it up every day. So they pour all kind of stuff into me that I pull back to my kids. So I'm just humble for that, though.
Coach, putting a bow on this thing, what will you remember most about this season and this team in particular?
Man, the hard work they put in to get there. Everybody look at the 15 right now, but them kids have been with me for 4 years. So they've been there when we lost to Elster. I remember that was a hurtful feeling. The first time we lost a conference game and we go down there and we get beat by Elster, and just the disappointment them guys went through as freshmen. And and then we come back and lose to Johnsonville, chance in junior year that we felt like we had a chance with a good team. But to see how them guys just kept working and pouring in and just grinding to get to that championship and win it, man, that's why it means a lot. Now, they special, they talented, but everybody realize them guys put a lot of work in. They grind, man. We grind our kids, and to see them finish that thing out, man, that's what I'm remember the most. The grind, the journey getting there. That journey was good, man. Beating Carver's Bay and all them guys, and seeing them celebrating the locker room and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell you what they talked about when they lost to Denmark. We was undefeated, and we was number 1 in the state, and losing to Denmark Ola for first time in 30 years. They still have that on their shoulder, you know. So to get in and to win a championship, they felt like, hey, you know, we proved people that, you know, that diamond here to stay. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, put Bamberg on the map a little bit with that.
And that's one thing too that I really enjoy, Coach, because a lot of people think of a state title of just that season, but it's really not. There's a lot more that leads up into it. So it's really cool to hear you talk about, you know, what those kids have been through. But this has been great. I want everyone to go check out Coach Crosby and the Red Raiders on social media. They do a great job posting updates on their kids on Twitter and Facebook. Certainly follow them on there. Like I mentioned, follow us at Moving Change, website movingchange.com, and our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Moving the Change is brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Coach, Jarrell, anything else for Coach? We'll let him go today.
Coach, I just want to thank you so much for your time today. It's been a long time coming getting you on the program, and we were super excited about this one. You know, you've been very gracious to us over the years, and we've really, you know, enjoyed following, you know, your growth. You know, that's one of the you know, historic favorite programs that we get to follow down there in Bamberg. So really excited to see you able to culminate that with the state championship. Absolutely dominant performance by your team this year. I will admit and apologize in person. I was stupid, picked against you guys in that state title game. Hand up. I got caught up with Lamar's run in the playoffs, and you know it's crazy because the weeks leading up to that, we literally broke down how dominant your bunch was, you know, throughout the season. So just so excited to see you guys cap that thing off. You know, that was a really fun game too. Two great programs with Lamar as well. So just happy to see your success. And man, it's good to hear 18 returning starters this year. So putting the state on notice, you know, that you guys are going to be back at it again this year. So best of luck, stay healthy, and we'll definitely catch up again.
Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man, what y'all do for high school football, man. Y'all realize how many people, you know, on Tuesday, man, I get in my back room, my wife, and I listen to y'all every Tuesday. I laugh because I remember you saying it was a cracking out arm on defense, and our kids took that thing to heart. They came back the next day, and they told our defensive coordinator, they said, we got a crack in our arm. Man, move the chain, said we got a crack. And then I said it to that at the state championship, man. But, man, it's what y'all do for high school football, man. It's big, man, to listen to y'all and how much y'all done grew from, you know, and bringing this thing up, man. But keep doing what y'all doing, man. And I'm telling you put the state on notice, though. It's a lot of great football in South Carolina now, too.
We really appreciate that, Coach. Look forward to seeing you again soon this offseason and catching a game. And best of luck, and we'll talk soon, all right?
I appreciate it. Go Raiders.
Founders Federal Credit Union means banking made for you. The on the go, the pick up and go, and the I want to go. Because at Founders, we give you the financial tools that make every dollar work for you. For the little things to the big things. For your future and your peace of mind. We'll always stay grounded in our roots, but reaching beyond what you'd expect is where we'll always go. Find out what our members already know and enjoy a new way to bank. Relax, you're with Founders.
Get ready for the ultimate South Carolina high school football experience with Moving the Chains. From previews to recaps, we've got you covered. Dive into our expert preview shows, predicting winners and sharing insights. Then join us post-game for the thrilling recaps, exclusive interviews, and highlights you won't find anywhere else. Plus, connect with fellow fans on our Friday night spaces on Twitter/X. No one covers South Carolina high school football like us. Join us at Moving Chains on all social media platforms and visit movingchains.com today.